Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rory, and I just finished Dragon Age Inquisition. Welcome to the show. I Just Played is a show where I just talk about something that I've just played. There might be other versions, there might be I just watched, or I just read, or I just listened to. Taylor Swift, Reputation. 10 out of 10. I'm starting this up just so I can talk about the things that I've finished, because it's good when you finish a game and you can't get what you want to say about it out in a single tweet or something like that. You want to dive into it a bit more. My goal is to keep these shows under 5 minutes within that time frame, which I struggle with very much to try and keep my videos short. But anyway, I'm going to do it with this series. So what my plan is, just to give you, if you're watching some of these in the future and you just want what the structure is, I'm just going to tell you quickly what the gist of the story is. Then I'm going to give a sandwich of what I think about the game, because I want there to be goods, but I also want there to be some criticism. So everything's going to get a sandwich. It's going to get some bread, it's going to get some bad filling, but it's going to get good bread. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it's going to be good, bad, good. And then I'm going to give it a score out of how much I enjoyed it. It is an 100-point scale between 0 and 10. So you can get like 9 point something, 3 point something, and that's like within the scale. Anyway, let's go. I've spent too much time. We're already 2 minutes in, and I haven't said anything. So, Dragon Age Inquisition is pretty much a standard fantasy game where there's a big bad villain, and you are the only one who has the power to stop them, because you have in the power of your hand some crazy green thing that can close the crazy rifts. That's the story, and it's you doing that. That's the main story. So, Dragon Age fantasy story, you have a crazy hand, gotta stop the bad guy. Number one, what is good about this is the world. I absolutely love the world, and especially it's the time. Often it depends what time you're playing a game at. It influences how much you enjoy the timing. And for me, I was doing my dissertation over this summer, so I needed an escape. I kind of had Crash Bandicoot, but it was too stressful, so I needed something, a fantasy relief. And Dragon Age was it. And I knew, speaking to myself in my head, I was like, Rory, why aren't you playing The Witcher 3 or someone that's won all these awards? But instead, Dragon Age was the one, because it was like really cheap on the store for the awesome edition. So I played Dragon Age, love the world, just running around. You're on these mystical creatures, you're going against mystical beasts. There's dwarves, there's elves. I was a crazy guy who had some horns, and I had a big bushy beard, and it was like Lord of the Rings, but everyone was French apparently. But it was good being in that world. That's a piece of bread right there. Number two, what is bad? The story is not my favorite. The way the pacing works is that you need to gather up power to then be able to do each mission. And you gather up power by doing all the side quests, going to these all new areas, which are really cool. And I was having a blast just doing them, filling out the area, going everywhere in the map, getting on the landmarks, maybe fighting a wee dragon, maybe doing all this stuff. I was having fun doing that. So by the time I got to the end of the story, between the second last mission and the last mission, I'd had a heap of time doing all the side quests. And then the last mission came along, and it was like, that's it, done. What was that about again? Because I totally forgotten what the crux of the story was. So it wasn't the main story, it wasn't amazing, and it was a little bit boring, just the standard, I have the power, I'm going to defeat you, and knowing you were going to defeat them at the end. And they have this crazy twist at the end with one of the people who you've been traveling, who's been an ally, which is just really to set up, I think, what happens in the DLC. And for me, even though I have the DLC, I was like, I didn't appreciate that they ended the game with a push to the next thing, which at the time would have been like, please spend more money. And another thing, an extra slice of filling, an extra bit of ham in there, or like a bit of whatever. The clipping, which really annoyed me, was like, I gave my character this big beard to start, and then the first scene he like kind of looks down and his beard just clips into his clothes. It really made me sad. That happened all the time. It's like, why not just make it like push against? Come on, we're ready for it. Beards that don't clip. Another slice of bread is this song right here. I'm telling you, this song, it gave me emotions. I enjoyed it. It was really good where it came out of. This was still where the story was kind of quite contained, and so it was kind of rolling along. So you just had this big massive defeat, and then this song about rising from the ashes, a dawn will come. I really enjoyed. That is a slice of bread in and of itself. My score, my funness score, my goodness score, which only I know the criteria for, but I'm gonna try to explain it. It's a 7.9. Here it is. It's gonna be right here. 7.9. Woo! Because it was good. It was really fun to have this kind of thing to balance against the dissertation, this lovely fantasy world. But because of the story just not being quite there, not being the pacing, and you need a good main story to really reach those 8s and 9s, I think. And that's why I'm going to give it a 7.9, just below that high criteria, but 7.9 for Dragon Age Inquisition. This has been the first I Just Played with your homeboy, RARMSTAR, or Rory. You can call me whichever you think is coolest, because I need you to think I'm cool.